I'm Dominic. I'm from Plymouth State University in northern New Hampshire. And my question is, as president, how would your administration deal with the relationship between energy security, economic security, and environmental security?
Good question. Hey, you over here. What's your name again?
My name is Mike Costello.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Starting me off slow, I appreciate it. I get the kick from Plymouth State. All right, well, let's do it then. Okay, first off, let's start with energy. The United States has an opportunity, and is in the midst of, if we have an administration that permits it, an energy revolution. With the new advances in technology on exploration and development of our energy resources, we now know we have a 100-year supply of natural gas underneath the United States, that we have oil reserves that we've never been able to tap before. And at the same time, we have growing technology in alternative fuels areas that can help to supplement. And so what I believe we need to be doing is, first and foremost, we would be exploiting the fossil fuels that we have in our country. The idea that we can't do this environmentally safely is not borne out by the facts. We can, and we should. And so in that portion of energy security versus environmental security, don't let anybody pose to you a false choice. And you have to choose between the two. You do not, in my opinion. Now, do we have to have appropriate regulation? Of course we do. And again, as with folks in the national security side of things, if we have folks who violate the law, then we need to hold them to account. But we need to exploit that energy that's available to us. Second, on energy security, we need to have better relationships with Canada and Mexico. They're our two largest trading partners in the world. They themselves are sitting on huge oil reserves and natural gas reserves in both their countries. And they're in the midst of a lot of change now, too. In Canada, the development they've had of their ability to be able to exploit their resources has been incredibly helpful to our country and to theirs. And yet this president won't build the Keystone Pipeline. Now, I'm not saying the Keystone Pipeline will fix every energy problem we have. It won't. But it's not only stupid policy from an energy perspective. It's bad policy towards a neighbor and a friend. Canada has sent soldiers to Iraq and Afghanistan at the request of the American president. Not because Canada felt like it was in their national security interest or not, but because we asked. And then they asked to build a pipeline that will send oil to our country that will be refined at our refineries, creating American jobs, and where 90% of it will be consumed by American consumers, and we somehow have a president who will say no. And in fact, the own environmental review that was done by his own State Department said we have no environmental impact. So we need to wipe that away, reestablish our strong relationship with Canada on the energy front. Mexico's in the beginning of denationalizing their energy industry, allowing foreign investment in there to be able to exploit, through the new technologies, their ability to be able to develop and exploit their own natural resource gifts. Well, if you made a North American energy strategy with Canada and Mexico, our continent would become the energy continent for the world. We could drop our export ban here in the United States, and we should. We could export to our friends in Western Europe and other places around the world. And imagine what a great effect that would have from a geopolitical perspective. Economically, of course, anything that makes energy prices lower in the United States, more available to people, helps to drive our economy, could help to bring more manufacturing jobs back to this country because of lower costs of energy than in the places where there are now, in China predominantly. That can help for economic security tremendously. The last piece that you didn't ask me was what I alluded to, which is our geopolitical security as well. Imagine a world where we could say to the Western Europeans, Putin is playing games in Eastern Europe, ratchet up the sanctions even higher. And they say, well, wait a second. You know, we get our oil and our gas from Putin. We need to keep our homes warm in the winter and cool in the summer. We say, don't worry about it. The United States, Canada, and Mexico will backstop your supplies if Putin cuts them off. Well, that'll allow Western Europe to be much more aggressive and take away excuses away from being aggressive on sanctions against Russia if they're going to continue with their adventurism. And a diminishing role for some of the countries in the Middle East in terms of their importance in oil supply would be helpful to us geopolitically as well, to be able to have a greater advantage than we do at the moment in terms of our own ability to relate to folks in that region. So that's the way I think it interacts. I think it's an important thing. And I'll tell you, in New Jersey, what we've done, do you know 53% of the electricity in New Jersey is generated by nuclear? No one would know that. No one would even think it. In the most densely populated state in America, 53% of our electricity is generated by nuclear safely, securely, over the last 4 decades. Do you know that New Jersey is the third largest creator of solar energy in the country? Only behind California and Arizona, because we made investments early in that technology, made it attractive for businesses to invest in solar technology. We had businesses sprouting up all over the place to create the infrastructure we needed for solar technology. And now we're the third largest supplier of solar technology in America. What's that lead to? We don't belong. I pulled out as governor from the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative, which you're part of here, and every other northeastern state is, but not us. Because we're not going to pay that carbon tax. I don't believe in cap and trade. And guess what it's done for our environment in New Jersey? We have already met our 2020 clean energy goals without RGGI, without cap and trade, because we've incentivized the private sector to do smart things that help us to have ample supply of energy and be able to be environmentally sensitive as well. You can do those things. It takes some will, it takes some planning, and it takes some hard decisions. And when you pull out a cap and trade like I did, it takes being attacked by the liberal left. But they still haven't come up with a good reason why. Said, well, geez, you know, if we're not paying the tax and we've met our 2020 clean energy goals, what's your complaint? Well, we want that money to spend. See, that's what it always comes back to. They didn't really care as much about the clean energy part as they cared about the tax. And they want that money to spend on the things they want to spend it on. And, you know, I say no. And the reason they're angry at me is because I proved them wrong.